The Corinth is one, if not the most, satisfying weapon to use in Warframe. This shotgun sounds and feels extremely good. And that's not all. The Corinth on its own is a powerhouse, with some limitations but a very powerful weapon nonetheless. When you add a Riven to the equation, the potential here is incredible. So today, let's talk about it. I'm Deuce, and thanks in advance for watching. The Corinth is a Mastery Rank 10 shotgun. Building wise is a bit on the expensive side. You need 45,000 credits, 25k for the blueprint, which can be found on the market, and 20k for the foundry. You will also need 2 Nighten Extract, 1300 alloy plates, 6 gallium, 725 cryotic, and a 12-hour waiting period. Stats wise, this weapon is no pushover. Its primary fire mode is a critical beast that can shred just about anything in the game thanks to hunter munitions, and the secondary fire mode is a very effective mob cleaner if you know how to use it properly. Now, there are 3 things that stand out for the Corinth. The first one is its reload, which happens 1 shell at a time and can be interrupted at any moment, similarly to the Strong series. This allows for a quick recovery while reloading, since it only takes 0.22 seconds per shell, barring the initial animation. The second one is its Alt Fire, which fires a grenade that creates an 8-meter area of effect explosion after traveling 20 meters. The thing is that this explosion only occurs in mid-air, so any collision that happens before the projectile travels the required distance will create a dud. The third one is the Primary Fire's Spread, which is tied with the Hex series for the narrowest of all shotguns, making the Corinth a precision-based weapon. Combined with its subpar fire rate and low magazine capacity, create a scenario where missing shots can feel extremely punishing. Still, the Corinth has both the highest crit chance and multiplier of its subclass. This makes it a prime candidate for using hunter munitions, and it also allows for a pure physical build, in contrast of the more common hybrid viral build that oftentimes is used in conjunction with HM. To top it all off, this weapon has a 3 out of 5 Riven disposition, which can accommodate pretty impressive beasts, especially when accounting for the Corinth's initial stat line and capabilities. Now, the Riven that I have, Corinth Lexicronicon, is nothing to write home about. It has plus 2.7 punch through, plus 111.7% multi-shot, plus 88.3% fire rate, and minus 69.7% status chance. Aside from the multi-shot, there isn't much in the way of stats that can directly influence damage output, and ideally you would want for your own some base damage, critical damage and chance, or the combination of cold and toxin, that way creating viral. Yes, the Corinth's primary fire status isn't good, but you only need 1 viral proc every 6 seconds, and in some cases you could even use the Alt Fire to proc it. However, this Riven is not absolute trash. It's full of intangibles that, while not increasing damage, make the Corinth a much easier weapon to use. The punch through is very useful when fighting enemy groups, especially with Nidus or Korra and their abilities to bundle enemies up. Not to mention that you no longer need to worry about whether or not the Alt Fire is going to work, since you can use the buckshot to plow your way through any mob. On the other hand, the plus fire rate is both a blessing in disguise and a curse. Like I said earlier, missing shots with this weapon can feel very punishing, so having extra fire rate can help you correct that mistake a lot quicker. But missing multiple shots in succession can make you reload a lot more often. The negative impact of that minus status chance isn't much given the circumstances. Ideally, the preferred negative stat would be minus zoom, but this is a weapon that doesn't need status to function properly. You can use its buckshot with hunter munitions, specializing your build to work around the lack of status by focusing on increasing the damage produced by the slash procs. Of course, this makes the airburst a lot less effective, since it mainly acts as a giant explosion that deals a flat amount of damage, but sometimes you have to go with the hand you've been dealt. Let's get to the build, and as advertised is a purely physical build with hunter munition. It costs 4 formas, which is relatively cheap for a Riven build. The idea is to take advantage of the Riven's multi-shot bonus by adding as much more on top of it as possible. That's why I'm using Vigilante armaments instead of something else like laser sight, with the added benefit that since this weapon fires so many pellets at once, that 5% chance to upgrade the critical level happens a lot more often. On the other hand, the focus is on increasing the damage of those slash procs, something accomplished thanks to Shrapnel Shot, Primed Ravage and Primed Point Blank. This may not be the most disgustingly powerful Corinth in the world, but it does its job very well. A viable weapon regardless of the enemy type that doesn't rely on the all too common viral and slash hybrid. An effective workaround for a not so good Riven. And that's precisely why the Corinth is a Riven monster. In spite of my Riven's subpar stat line, it's still capable of doing plenty of damage, and instead of using the purple mod as another stat increasing platform, I use it to supplement some of the weapon's intangibles, thus compensating its limitations. Yes, ideally you want that huge increase to critical and base damage, but lacking those doesn't mean that the end result will be bad or that the Riven is unusable. In the case of a weapon like the Corinth, you can get creative. Normally, I would tell you that if you find a Riven mod for this beauty, you should keep it. But a Corinth Riven can net you a substantial amount of platinum in the trade market. So in this case, that's a choice you alone can make. I kept mine because it's another excuse to go for this amazing shotgun, but for you, it might be a different scenario. With new Tenogen coming to consoles and Fortuna's launch on the horizon, we all know that platinum expenses are about to increase, and that premium currency needs to be obtained somehow. For my part, this has been all for now. If you enjoyed the video or you found it interesting, please consider giving it a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more Warframe content and follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with everything. Again, thank you very much for watching. Wherever you are, have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.